Hi guys, Thugger here with a new video, and this video we're going to talk about is it worth it to play Season 3 of The War Within while we are in a queue for Mr. Pandaria. Now, the truth is, I'm very biased, and I think a lot of people know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm going to try to say that The War Within, although it is at the end of their lifespan and Midnight is going to come out eventually end of the year or beginning next year. Well, that's how I predicted it though. I do believe like the good thing is about the War Within is it's an ever-changing thing, right? It can always get fixed, it can always get better, it can always be the next best thing because it's always been like that. Like Dragonflight Season 1 was like magical. I really loved Solo Shuffle like Season 1. I think PvE was also in a great state from my understanding. But the truth is that for me it is not really worth it because of this. We have Mr. Pandaria and it is it's 9 p.m. 22 in EU and we have a queue. Firemaw is full. We have actually a queue on a classic realm which is supposedly dead, right? If people say that Mr. Pandaria will die first season, all power to them, right? I still think season 1, like season 12 of Mr. Pandaria, is going to be very good. Very, very good. I think I already see a lot of people like really caring about Mr. Pandaria. My own guild, I have one guild. I actually have two, but I'm going to talk about one. Champion Circle has 4 RBG groups ready to play. And that's for the people that do care about RBGs. And we have multiple people already trying to feel like, okay, are you going to play 2s with me? Okay, good. Let's do rendezvous next week. Same for 3s. They're grouping up. A lot of people are right now trying to see what they're going to do to PvP and to enjoy that. What else? We also have PvPers wanting to raid. Something that is not unusual, but it is kind of unusual for a retail PvP player, for example. That doesn't happen. And it's not because they want to gear up for PvP, because clearly PvE gear is not good for PvP. They're just getting downscaled as well, so it's not going to be good. But they're still wanting to play because the game is really good. Miss Pandaria, the gameplay is nice and crisp and responsive. It feels not like retail, but it is definitely not classic either. And the main criticism I have with retail is that it feels like you're playing piano. Now, I can handle that. I play very nervous games all the time. Like I play League of Legends, I play retail obviously, I play Call of Duty, I play even Age of Empires, which requires for 400 APM if you really want to talk about every single action per minute. The efficient one is around 200 probably that you're doing. The other 200 like bloat, but 400 is not abnormal. Like it's not abnormal, depending on how you see what is an action per minute. A lot of the games required for a lot of the piano play style of The War Within. But the issue is that it kind of makes your whole kit, your whole design kit, your whole class, your whole spec play like most buttons don't matter. Most dots don't matter because obviously if you're playing unholy DK, how many times do you see a full row, like 2 full rows of debuffs that you're applying onto the enemy with a lot of bloat? You have obviously 3v3, which is, again, you have 3 characters giving debuffs and buffs to everyone, and it gets like diminished because the more you see on your screen, the less important it becomes because obviously it cannot be important because else you would be just one-shot every single time. While in Miss Pandaria, although people do complain about these long CCs, a lot of the long CC is avoidable. You can line it, you can stop it, you can interrupt it, you can silence it, you can stun it, you can again, there's multiple things you can do to stop that CC. There is not a lot of CC that is actually long duration and instant. You have, for example, obviously the fear from priest, which is instant, but you have to go close. You cannot really do that from a distance. You can obviously poly. That's something you can do as a mage right now because you have presence of mind, and you can do presence of mind poly. That's obviously a long CC, and that is just one spell you can do every, is it every minute for presence of mind, or is it every 2 minutes? I don't remember, but let's say every 1 minute you have one instant poly. Fear from affliction warlocks and destruction warlocks and demonology warlock is not instant. You have obviously death coil, which can then be followed by a fear. But even then, most people are playing Shadow Fury, which is a stun of 3 seconds. And if that happens, you do get the art on stun. So it's not as worth it, especially if you're playing with a warrior. You're not going to play Shadow Fury. A lot of the CC is avoidable, or you know already what's going to happen. And even then, even if you do get CC'd for a very long time, a lot of the classes and specs have good defensives. You have, for example, Balance Druid. You have Bear Form with Frenzied Regeneration, you have Bark Skin, you have obviously Root Beam, which you can use it to save yourself. You have Blink as a Druid, yes. You have also Symbiosis, which can give you a buff, a debuff, a powerful ability, depending on who you're playing with. You have obviously Might of Ursoc, giving you health, maximum health, excuse me. You have obviously your instant heal, or you have, for example, your Ysera, which is giving you a heal over time. Every single 4 seconds, for 5 seconds, you get a big heal, like a 4% heal or something like that. And you have obviously your Cenarian Ward that you can apply to yourself, which is also big heals, because you can then give your rejuvenation on yourself, and you can actually heal for pretty much a lot as a balance rate. You can survive damage even if your healer is CC'd for a very long time. You don't really get one-shotter right now. So even if you have long CCs, it's not the end of the game. You can still come back somehow, some way. On retail, CC was always a thing, was always a problem. I think people talking about CC for Miss Pandaria, they do like this when they talk about retail, because that's not really happening, right? You can take any spec right now, but you have some egregious one when we're talking about CC. Obviously, you have specs that have a bit less CC, but even then, they have micro CC. Like, for example, Demon Hunters. You have 2 stuns. You have, obviously, a fear. You have, what else? You have, you can also slow. You can interrupt. You have glimpse. So basically, even if you're not CC'd, your damage is not happening, or your CC is not going to happen because he glimpsed at the right time. So if you come out of a CC, you're pressing something to CC him. He might glimpse it out, and there you go. You have like wasted an ability or a GCD basically because you did do something and he predicted it. You have also Shadow Melt, which is a big problem. So that's something we haven't discussed. Racial is a problem on Miss Pandaria because human is the best for Alliance and for everyone actually. But you have, to be honest, you have human, then orc, then undead. That's pretty much the 3 bis. Then you have Night Elf, as usual. Shadow Melt is always useful for the Shadow Melt classes. For example, if you're a druid, you cannot be human. Or if you are like a shaman, you cannot be human. So you have to make choices. I feel like that's, again, like retail players doing this about racials, right? They think that retail has no racial problem, and they're talking about racial problems on Miss Pandaria as if that's the thing that makes it or breaks the game, when retail has the same problem with Night Elf being a whopping 90% of the Alliance player base, because basically every single class that can be played Night Elf will play Night Elf. And should be playing Night Elf. If they're playing human, it's for flavor pretty much, because the trinket is not really helping you. If you're playing dwarf, well, that's good, but that's very meta dependent. If assassination rogue is very strong, then stocks are up. If the assassination rogue is not very strong, or like okay, you could also just not play dwarf. Dwarf is also very strong, obviously. You have also your iron dwarf, your dark iron dwarf. You have obviously the cult tyrant for the stun. But we can also talk like that about about Mr. Pandaria. I think people are always doing that. They are talking about Mr. Pandaria, they're talking about a specific problem about Mr. Pandaria, which is accepted. It's an accepted problem. Sometimes you cannot have a perfect PvP environment because that doesn't exist. But we accept about the issues that we have about Mr. Pandaria, excuse me. But they are forgetting about the issues that the War Within has. Now I'm leveling my druid right now. My level 90 Warlock is already ready, fully geared up. I'll be doing affliction Warlock really soon, but affliction Warlock guide very soon. But I want to talk about like the difference between the two versions of the game. And I truly don't see really a reason to play the War Within Season 3, nor Season 4, actually, like the fated season, excuse me. Because right now, the communication is a whopping 0 out of 10. If I could do a minus, it would be a minus. The truth is that they don't really care as much about the War Within right now, because they are working on midnight. So my trust levels are like 0.0.0. I don't see any reason to play the War Within because they don't give me any reason to play the War Within. And I'm talking as a PvPer, but even as a PvPer, like Keystones, Mythic Plus should already be a solo queuable system. It should be, again, how many times does your keystone break because of a soft int from one of the players? Some people can really just make your day miserable because they are very smart by doing it. Yes, obviously if you AFK or leave or whatever, you can get like punished by the system. But some people just like are smart when they grief people players, and that's not possible to actually be caught by an automatic system. A solo queuable system makes it that it will rarely happen, and if they do, when it actually happens, you can actually like catch it more efficiently because that keystone is like a general keystone. It's not from someone. So you're just making everyone lose time pretty much. While the keystone, if you are like destroying it, it's not yours and you grief it, well, who cares? It's not yours. So for me, there are a lot of the issues about the War Within, which some people are fine with. They're saying that the gameplay is phenomenal, that's very good, but I think gameplay is more phenomenal whenever you don't have a queue. That's the issue. For me, the queue is unbearable. It is not acceptable that I can play, that I can queue for longer than I play. That's simply bad design. And if people defend that, all good. If people say that, don't complain, play healer, it's like, is it your job? Is World of Warcraft your job to actually have to play healer to be able to play? Because that's really miserable, man. League of Legends actually did that at one point for support and people really lashed out. And now what happens is that you get auto-filled at one point. If there is no support or there's no top lane or jungler, sometimes you get auto-filled, but you get guaranteed 2 games next game. And the truth is that if you get auto-filled, it's the same rating, so you're going to try hard. Or you can dodge. You can dodge if you want to. But you're going to try hard if you play, because you're going to lose the same amount of points you would lose if you would lose on your main role. And that's the problem with retail. Like with retail, you cannot force someone to play healer because it has no benefit to your whole character. If you're like queuing a 2k DPS, you don't want to like go heal. Why would you do that? Like you wasted your time to get 2k MMR. You want to go higher for some reason, you want to go 2.1, 2.4k, 3k, you get mad with like insane queues, and then people say to play healer, man. If that's the thing that you want to hear, go play healer. I don't know. And the thing that I do like about Miss Pandaria is yes, there is no solo queue. I'm sorry guys, if you want a solo queue, it just isn't there. And I am someone that would like a solo queue system in Pandaria, but I also am a realistic, and I'm fine with LFG to be there. If I don't find a healer in 2s, I'll just grab a double DPS comp. There are many classes that can play double DPS and do well. If I'm playing Bounce Druid, I can play with a Rogue, I can play with a Warlock, I can play with a Mage, I could play with a Shaman, I could play with a even Warrior for that matter, I can play with a Retribution Paladin, he will bop me to be able to go nuts. I can go play with an unholy DK or a frost DK. I can play with virtually any class or spec. It's not going to be super optimal, but it is definitely viable. And I'm talking about every single spec. Shadow Priest, Warlock, Rogue, Retribution Paladin, Hunter. We have windwalkers that can play. You can have unholy DKs and frost DKs. They can play with a Retribution Paladin. Like, that's not unknown things. That exists already since Wrath of the Lich King. That comp already exists since Wrath of the Lich King, and that is possible to play. Now, try to play unholy DK with a Retribution Paladin in 2s in the War Within. Past a certain point, you will just lose. The first 10 placements matches, you're going to face versus other double DPS comps. But for some reason, if you're hitting 1.8k or 1.9 or 2k, you do not face any double DPS comp because that's simply not viable. It is not possible to play. It's not even optimal. It just is beyond optimal. It's useless. So what I like about Pandaria is that even if the queue times, and you don't have solo queues, excuse me, you can make your own thing. Like, you can grab anyone, you can play, and you can do well. Just needs you to be good. Just needs you to press CDs. Just needs you to reset, to off heal, to use CDs to heal yourself, to use CDs to survive some damage, and do a big go at the right time, and you can win. That's what I like about Pandaria. The War Within has just taken it, shot it away, because literally there is no reason to play double DPS because it's not possible. And even then, 2s is just irrelevant. While 2s in Pandaria, you can get glad. And not everyone can get glad, but having an objective that has a reward at the end is something that can be satisfiable. Right now on the War Within, even if you want to play 2s and you want to get glad, there is no glad at the end. There is no title. There is no mount at the end. It is just you and your bragging rights for peanuts, for gameplay that is just not good. Yes, I said it. For me, it just is Mythic Plus. For me, it is just who presses the most buttons at the same time. For me, it is not tactical at all. It doesn't require thought. It's not really fun. And a lot of people that are playing retail, they're going to play Pandaria, they're going to have a miserable time in arenas because it is just not the same gameplay. They're going to have a hard time climbing because it is just simply not the same design. It is designed for PvP and not designed for PvE. If you want to do PvE, you go PvE. And the design is also the same. Like, it's not going to be Mythic Plus, it's going to be PvE from Pandaria. Now, is Pandaria a harder game by itself? No, I think the War Within is a harder game by itself, but the design is just not made for PvP. The design is made for PvE. It's made for Mythic Plus, it's made for AoE, it's made for fast food, it's made for DPSers not being able to heal themselves or survive themselves without a healer, while you make just the life of a healer harder, and they make one mistake and it's over, while on Pandaria, even if the healer makes one mistake, you can still survive by yourself. You can carry your own weight. You can, like, if Warrior has second wind, they can heal very well, like below 35% health. They can survive very well. They have shield wall, recklessness, die by the sword. Like, I don't know, man. I really like Pandaria. And I'm very sorry for my crowd, right? I feel like you guys are like subscribed to a guy that made retail guides, tier list, and I enjoyed retail, but I just hit a breaking point. So I think the War Within really broke me. The Dragonflight was already like a breaking point for me, but I tried. But I cannot like stomach a 20-minute queue again. And some people would say like would want a 20-minute queue because sometimes you have 1 hour queues, 2 hours queues, especially if you're like top end like of the ladder. Those queues are like unbearable. And they would sign with two hands to have a 20-minute queue. But I cannot stomach the fact that I have a 20-minute queue for 10 minutes of gameplay. I just can't. That's just that like I respect my time a bit too much. And you would say, why are you playing Miss Pandaria? The time is like horrible. You have to grind way more, and you have to LFG your way to victory. Oh, if you're a streamer, you have probably people to play with. No, that's not true. Like I have to LFG like everyone else. I do not have any achievements on Cataclysm or Wrath because I just simply didn't play. So obviously I don't have anything to show for them. But I'm okay playing with anyone. I'm okay to socialize my way to victory. I'm okay to spend time to have multiple hours of gameplay and not a queue where I will and might play for a few minutes and not like a random thing, right? That's the thing that I have issues with. Like, I cannot organize my day around Soul Shuffle or Soul Queue RPGs. Like, that's... I cannot organize my day. I cannot say to my wife or to my children, like, I'm going to play 2 hours and I'm going to have fun. That's not even like it's a lie on the whole thing. Like 2 hours, how many matches are you going to be able to play as a DPS in 2 hours time? You cannot even predict it. You might play a lot, or you might just not play. That could also happen. Like imagine playing only 2 Soul Shuffle lobbies in 2 hour time, and that's what I had with my Warlock at one point. Like I had 2400 MMR past season. I was on my way to get like legend easy. Like I had like a positive win rate. I did so many lobbies and I won them very hard and just gave me a insane MMR. Like 2.4k is not insane, but it's insane for like a green geared Warlock because I was like literally started again on my Warlock, my main from from like back in the day, from Shadowlands even, from Dragonflight as well. And I did get met like a queue of 1 hour. Then I said, what am I doing, bro? Like, do I cherish the whole thing that hard that I'm wasting 1 hour of my life in a queue for a lobby of 10 minutes, which I'm not even sure I'm going to win? I decided to just like back off, man. I'm just going to Classic. I'm going to miss Cataclysm. I'm going to play League of Legends. I'm going to play Call of Duty, but I'm not going to sit 1 hour queue, and I don't care if I have 2 accounts, because I do have 2 accounts. I could queue up for 2 accounts. But why would I do that? If I want to play on my Warlock, I don't want to play on my second account. Like, that's some, like, again, that's the same argument as the people that are saying, like, play healer if you value your time, whatever. Like, no, I value my enjoyment. If I don't enjoy healing in the War Within, and I might even heal on the Miss Pandaria, that's the truth. Like, I prefer healing on Miss Pandaria than effing the War Within, but that's another issue. But like, how can you justify, like, even random BGs, bros? Like, random BGs. Like, do I have a queue time on my Warlock? I want to show you guys. I want to show you guys. If I can show you guys, I will do, or else it will be for the next video. If I can do that, I will do that. Okay? Give me a second. I'm gonna try if I can connect to my Warlock. He's level 90, so I can do a queue for you guys and you will see how fast it gets. And yes, it's the beginning of the season, blah blah blah. I never had such a fast queue on retail, beginning of the season or not. Like, that's just, people are like coping. I have a queue time on, like, I have a queue on my Warlock, 250. That's whatever, man, it's fine. But the queue is really fast. No, I can't, I don't think I can, like, it's going to be slow because I'm not level 90. But the queues are literally 1 minute, man. Sometimes insta pops. I cannot do anything. I cannot enchant myself if I'm in the queue because it's going to pop directly. In retail, I would give it, like, not everything, because again, I value a lot of things in my life, but I could, like, I'm disconnected. Why am I disconnected, bro? Don't disconnect me. Anyways, I talked too much. I wasted my queue for this video, but it is what it is. I must say that right now, I'm happy with Miss Pandaria. If you are not playing Miss Pandaria, more power to you guys. If you prefer retail, more power to you guys. I understand achievements are not really like lasting. It is not an everlasting server. Obviously, at one point, Miss Pandaria is going to move on or stop, and it's not eternal. But this is definitely not like okay for me to play the War Thin. So no bueno. I think I have no internet anymore. Yeah, so I'm gonna end the video right now. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.